Blue skies behind me. Pretty crazy, guys. If I would have showed you the weather an hour ago, you would have never guessed. So over the past 2 days, I definitely pumped out some videos, some content over the past 48 hours on both channels and my Patreon. So I made sure Patreon comes first. Without you guys, I cannot do this work. So 2 videos on Patreon, videos on my main channel, as well as Reality Not Fiction 2. Just want to see if notifications work. Hey. And there's a new rig on my end. So it's not that windy out here, but with me walking, and there's low airplanes at this location. So let me know if the audio is, if it's good, if I'm breathing too heavy, if you can't hear me. Miss Julia, how are you? Hope, well, I know how. I wrote you back on Patreon. I know you're going through a tough time, you and the little one. Thoughts and prayers are with you. Joyce, Miss Liberty. Guys, we had 2 inches of rain over. I took a picture of the sun for this video. Then once I pulled up, I noticed all the fields are flooded, and that's not. They do not typically flood. And there's a baseball field there that's flooded. So I have not seen the sun in a couple days, or whatever that technology is. Mixture of both. Speaking about sun, I don't want to talk about this too long. I just want to bring it up. How many people ever heard about 2 suns? Have you guys ever heard of that we have 2 suns? I found a when I say a credible source, meaning a European, works a couple years back, but I just found it. Works for the European Space Agency. And sometimes, again, guys, sometimes it's a slip of a tongue. You know, sometimes things just happen. But anyway, he stated, not only did he state, he showed, because he had his rig set up, meaning his telescopes, and now he's answering Q&A kind of like this. But in the background, he had, like I said, he has his rig set up, really good equipment, and live on air. He says NASA, his words, not mine, I'm going to do a video on it, hides our second sun. And again, it wasn't a joke, no dry humor. And then Crow 777, who I've been watching for years and years and years. Great content as far as Skywatcher wise. I know my main channel, guys, it's like a mixture of everything. This channel's a lot of outdoor stuff. So, but he captured the double sun. And most people don't speak about the double sun a lot. Even, alternative news but I made sure I copied it twice because things tend to disappear sometimes. So I copied it twice because I will be having that in the video. But again, I know a lot about geoengineering. Not everything, folks. Like I always say, I know a lot about a little bit. Obviously, I don't say everything that I know about geoengineering. It's a very taboo subject. So, but it's very unique. Even Crow says this, which I just making videos on 2 platforms, dealing with everyday life. I'm not here to say, to complain, not to, but I don't have time anymore to watch other people's content. That being said, a few times people recommend somebody, and I'll definitely check that person out, definitely from one of you guys. But I don't have time like I used to. Like I said, 2 channels, but Patreon comes first, obviously. So, but anyway, pretty crazy how, as far as geoengineering goes, guys, sunset and sunrise, right? It could be blue all day, except right before sunrise and right before sunset on most days, not all. Princess, how are you? Miss Liberty, two sons? Julia, yes, I responded a few minutes ago. Definitely in my prayers, Julia, and positive vibes, like I said in that message. I'm a type A personality guy, but not just your awakened process, but something happened to me over the past couple of years where I'm not a Bible thumper at all, obviously, but I'm definitely spiritual. And again, it's a couple of years ago. I would have never said it would have been corny, but I might have said not for me maybe. But when you think positive, again, it could be a house, it could be a car, it could be a loved one, it could be illness. You manifest things. That's what I believe. You don't have to, but that's what I believe. So, definitely Julia in my prayers. Darlene, how are you? Again, guys, I'm not used to this rig, so I don't like when I hear podcasts and people are breathing heavy. Like, let me know if I'm breathing heavy or into the mic, or don't be afraid to shout out. I want to bring up California for a second. Look at this beautiful. Kind of beautiful. California, it's unprecedented. And right before leaving the house, I know somebody in the National Guard in the Pitts. How are you guys? In the Pittsburgh area, and they're actually out there in California helping out, with traffic. But like I said, all hands are on deck, folks. Besides it being unprecedented, this, when I say scary part, meaning you guys in California will have approximately, as of now, the making of this video, an 8-hour lull, right? Meaning all the lights might come on, the wind may stop. Right now they have trees down, and obviously it's throughout the state. But as of now, they have trees down, branches, big limbs. So in that 8-hour lull, I just don't want people to get comfortable. Again, I'm not from California, but again, I don't like the P word. Besides being prepared, right? And in that 8-hour period, let your guard down, because they changed it. Now, again, this was updated 15 minutes ago. Tuesday into Wednesday, you guys will be having another wind event. So again, folks, in the 8-hour period, I'm not sure if they will or not, But if they happen to turn your lights on, and if you live in California, if you're hearing this now, or if you're have a loved one out there, and then again Tuesday to Wednesday, it won't be as severe as this one. That's what they're saying. But certain locations, guys, they were evacuated 3 times. It's bad enough leaving once. 3 times. All this is local news out there. ABC 7. One area alone, I know. I just uploaded that video. I said 200,000 people were evacuated. That's just one area, folks. One area. But the evacuation, being evacuated, here comes a plane. Being evacuated 3 separate times, that's pretty crazy. Also, Highway 101, the reporter, he not only does he live out there, but he's a local reporter. And first time in his lifetime, not my words, his words, first time in his lifetime, Highway 101, northbound and southbound lanes were totally shut down. Totally shut down. It kind of looked like there were no vehicles on the road. Besides, in the 10-minute interview, I saw 2 cops pass by. But you could even hear it in his voice how, again, even that one clip that I showed, that one gentleman who was very calm, his demeanor, he was talking to the reporter, and meanwhile, he lived there for 12 years, and he said this is unprecedented. And A, he has medical condition. That's what he said on live television. B, he has a family. C, why is he talking to, again, you're an adult, you can do what you want, but being a first responder and watching what so many people in California, these firefighters, man, so many people are in the way of the firefighters. It really got to me yesterday, because people want to talk to, here comes a fire truck, got a ridge, flames shooting 30 feet high or whatever, and people want to, ask questions, and meanwhile the getting in the way of the trucks. Again, guys, I never lived in Cali, but these are unprecedented times. So I'm going by my experience in the situations that I experienced. Again, you could have lived there your whole life, but this storm is unpredictable. And I am calling it climate change. But after I say climate change, the next word out of my mouth is geoengineering. Because if I hear anyone say climate change without speaking about geoengineering, quiet. But our climate is changing, all right, everywhere. Here, I don't care where you live, guys, you're going to either see droughts, floods, again, certain locations that are not typically prone to, just say, tornadoes. I think I use this as an example. Over the past summer, I had a tornado miles from my house with a very good-looking funnel cloud, if there is a good-looking funnel cloud. It did not look like that thing belonged in Jersey. Luckily, nobody hurt, or luckily nobody killed. A couple of people were injured, but the climate is changing, and it's David O'Keefe. He's the spokesperson for Harvard. But the reason it's changing, not because of your SUV, not because of your pickup truck, because of this shit that nobody talks about on that side. You guys, obviously. But nobody says the G word. or SAIs, whatever you want to call them. But if you're not familiar with it, if you're speaking to somebody, I prefer to use the correct terminology, because if somebody researched chemtrails, it might come up all bullcrap. But when you type in geoengineering, you'll actually see some, you'll actually find the, what's the word I'm looking for? Good, hard evidence, rather than just some made up stuff. So that's that. How are you, Bree? Weather warfare. It is. And again, I never liked that term, climate change, but I decided I changed. I like that term because the climate is changing everywhere. They're in the Middle East. They had again, we call them on the East Coast hurricanes. In the Pacific, typhoons. In the Middle East, something else. Whatever you want to call it. Pretty much, it's all the same thing, but different terminology. But yesterday I saw something spinning right near Israel. Pretty big rotation going on over there. And that's not normal at all. So climate is changing. How about where you guys are? Have you noticed, like I said, increase in precip? Or at least, like, even if it rains for like an hour, like, where before, certain times in the summertime, it'll say flash flood. Now it's a regular, if we get any precip, it's like a normal message that they send out now. So like 1 hour of rain will and can and does cause flash flooding. This is my area, but everybody different spot. The Midwest, super cold right now. Lots of snow. Colorado. I don't think I have anybody from Colorado. Very no rain here. Even like the temperature, folks. Like last night it was pretty, it was nice and cool. I like it cool. It was nice and cool in my house with all the windows shut. Right before I left the house, my air conditioning clicked on. I'm in a short sleeve shirt, wearing shorts right now, and very, very comfortable. Like the drops too. I told you, I believe I said it a couple weeks ago. In 12, not 24 hours, guys, in 12 hours, it dropped from being in the 80s, the low 80s, to snow on the ground. This was Colorado. So that's not normal. It is the new norm, but that's not supposed to happen. Darlene, they are purposely keeping rain away from Cali. There's a lot of strange stuff with Cali. Again, being open-minded, and that being said, and knowing, that there's negligence with the power companies, but then it goes down to the governor, and it goes down to the mayor. I told you around here, we don't have wildfires in this county. The next county over, they do. That being said, my power company, every year they trim all along the power lines, and this is a area that does not receive wildfires, let alone California. So there's multiple entities I could point fingers at. Anyone can, I guess. On top of any deep state activity and whatever technology that they used allegedly, again, in the Paradise Fire. That being said, the Paradise Fire and this fire, this is my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I've been keeping track on this fire, and I've kept track on Paradise as well. A couple of things. All hands are on deck, meaning I've never saw so much aircraft in my life fighting the fire. There's only like a couple 747s in the world that are equipped to fight fires, and that one's over there. A couple DC-10s, a lot of helicopters. But as far as fire burning, nothing like the Paradise. Thank God it's not over yet. But again, I'm not a firefighter, but that looked like a different type of entity, fire. Very disturbing, that one. You could pull it up on Google Earth if you have it. Very, very disturbing. And that's where satellites come in. I just did a video about that. Satellites are not what you guys think, or not what you guys were taught, right? That being said, guys, there is certain technology that can go up there like satellites. So it's not, satellites don't exist. It's not that type of answer. Where, not on this channel, but I've seen that before. Doing, well, to date, they're keeping the Paradise kind of hush-hush. Do you have a number so far in California this year? Darlene says many thousands are missing. From last year? Rosemary, how are you? Just listening and reading comments. I'm walking. About to walk into a little river. That was pretty deep for that area. Darlene says they have 52,000 missing. 52,000 missing. $52,000 missing. Was that for the entire state, Darlene? Or... because there were numerous fires, but obviously the Paradise Fire stood out to most because it just looked it did not look normal. You had people dying who were walking to their cars. I mean, that could even happen depending upon the winds, but again, guys, what do I say? I don't care what state or what type of event happens. We learn from it. Again, you could be in California right now in a safe spot listening to me and be third, fourth, fifth generation California. And I know zip about Cali fires. But what I do know how to save lives. Like I said earlier, it's unprecedented. So, at the very least, you will at least save yourself. But, now you have time to have a little bag, folks. Again, I lost my mother. So, again, life comes first over property. But, you know, in the meantime, why wouldn't you put a couple pictures and stuff? I'm not saying luggage, you know, but like a little bug out bag so you have something. One, two, three, four. Doing some PT. Bree says, do. I heard a lot about that Paradise Fire. I'm trying to think of this gentleman's name. Oh, yeah. What the hell is his name? He stated, well, I don't want to tell you it without knowing his name. What the hell is his name? Well, he stated that a certain group of entities lived in paradise, that the deep states, what the hell is his name? Not Corey Good. He has blue eyes. He's always on, he has a podcast into paranormal stuff, ETs. Can't believe I can't think of his name right now. Vaporized. Bree says it wasn't normal. Again, seeing things from trees that are burning from the outside, or excuse me, correction, from the inside out. Again, I'm not a firefighter, so if somebody is and there's different types of firefighters, just like there's different types of police officers. Are you a highway patrol? Are you a sheriff? Are you an actual police officer? Are you corrections? So, you know, law enforcement is not law enforcement, and being a firefighter is not a firefighter. Those guys, man. I mean, they even made a movie after that. A Hollywood movie. You know how hard it is? I read a comment about Darlene in the last video that I uploaded about breathing. You know, these guys, they might jump in, but they could be without help for days. Obviously, they have their preparedness bags, contingency. But sometimes, guys, they're alone for 48 hours. 48 hours. Just a handful of guys working your ass off. You know, I'm not talking about holding a hose. That's work. People don't realize that. I mean, you know, chopping down trees or I can't think of the word, guys. It's called too much researching in a very short amount of time. I did see Bree, a lot of people on the mainstream channels. Like if I was watching whatever, WBC 7, whatever the local news is out there, they're live. And in the comment section, a lot of people were speaking about Agenda 2030, Agenda, talking about the UN, which I'm proud. You know, the more I see that, the happier I get. That means people are, you know, aware of what the hell is going on. If you're not awake after this, again, put politics aside. I understand some people don't like Trump. That's fine. But, like, this is a life or death issue, folks. Again, I said the power company. It could be the governor, go down to the mayor. You could just keep going down the line. It's not one single person. Put politics aside. Yes and no, I guess, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? I say put it aside, but at the same time, it is a, no pun intended, it is a rare, it is, now it's a red state, but it's a very blue state. From the homeless people on the street. And again, guys, go by statistics, right? You look at the top 10 most dangerous cities, and they're all ran by Democrats. Again, I'm not a Democrat or Republican, so, but sometimes facts, you can't deny facts. At the rings? Yes. At the bunkers will be their tombs. 3. If you're not awake after this, something correct, Arlene. And again, my job is not to force anybody to become awake. That's why certain topics we could discuss, and I don't, I just don't jump off the deep end if we're talking about a certain topic, because again, we're all on different levels. Everybody didn't come out of the womb being on your level of awake. So some things I may start super G, but we do have new people who do join us. So I just don't want to jump right off the deep end. Like if I'm especially talking about a specific topic, I like to be thorough. And if they're just learning about it, not be intimidated, don't sound crazy. Show the person actual facts if most of the time you can nowadays, but some people expect everyone to be on the same page, and I'm not like that, obviously. You guys, I'm pretty mellow. And the plans are out there, folks. Like, it's one thing if one of you guys just speculated, right? But it's out there. I know people who, if they ask what you're doing, and you're saying you're researching the fire, and then if you bring up any agenda or the 2-letter word, they just kind of shrug it off without doing their homework. But yet, if I said your water source wasn't, had high level of mercury or something, I guarantee you wouldn't drink it. Just a lot of people tend to run, guys, when I say run, meaning like if you're afraid of something, rather than confront it. Like that's what I like to do. Miss Liberty, my friend, to shut down when I present facts. I know exactly what you mean. I have family and cousins that are like that. But I'm the type of person too where like I'm at the level, whatever level I'm at, where I don't want an argument. I don't want any negative energy in the room. If you're not willing to look it up, that's fine. But don't add me in your conversation. No comment. And that's how I deal with situations like that. Same thing, like, what do they say? The rule on Thanksgiving? Never talk about politics. Every year, right? Don't talk about politics. But that's the thing about me, guys. I can hear either side. Even though in 2019, as an individual, you could be, a liberal person, but there's no party that's liberal. There's a socialist party. Their words, not mine. And then a lot of the red rhinos. Not all, a lot of red rhinos and your typical liar-tician. I'm a politician. How about AOC? Like, well, it's been over a year now, but she was like a waitress, right? She goes from a waitress to making six figures. And again, everybody, if I say, what's a lot of money to you, Darlene, you might say X amount. Joyce might say B. Grant might say C. So, what's a lot of money to, or what's a little bit, is different to everybody. I understand that. But she goes from being a waitress to making high six figures for the amount of work. Again, they're always on recess. Your assistant does all your homework, meaning all your, your assistant, they do all your letters. That being said, do you work? Absolutely, being a politician or let alone being a member of Congress. But you guys know what I mean. Name one other profession that has as much recess besides a kindergarten class or preschool than our congressmen and women. Seriously. I think they take half the summer off and then they come back for a couple weeks and then another recess. It's disgusting. And I think they should make a good amount of money. But that being said, you have to listen to we the people. We're at the point now, guys, though. Like, they don't want it. No, there's no debating. You guys are different. You guys are awake, open-minded, willing to learn. I learn stuff off of you guys. But as far as politics goes, it got this bad very quick. Again, I said this once way back. If you took everything that Obama, all his talking points, and just put that on any Democratic, anybody on the left, that will be considered a bigot, a racist, a radical. So yes, it changed very quickly. So I like to be positive. I always like to be positive. But this is reality. Do I see it getting any better? I don't. I don't, guys. Again, Trump is not Mr. Fix-It, right? Some people, certain people think he's going to save the world. That being said, thank God that he's in office right now. But he is temporary. So even right now, folks, if I had to bet on it, the dollar that I probably have in quarters in my pocket, yes. Will he win in 2020? Yes. But that's 4 years. So again, if they got this bad in 2, it's just going to keep before the election, guys. Things are going to be Antifa. You got riots like you've never seen before. It's sad. Don't take any shit off anybody. But it's so easy to defend yourself, and especially if you have a family. If you have a family, kids. Again, defending yourself, you could be locked up. Every state's different. I think that's another thing too. Like I like hearing feedback from you guys, because I was always one to listen. I've always liked to learn as long as I was interested in the topic, if that makes sense. I'm not interested in like anything, but when I do like these type of like Q&As with you guys. I like to hear what you guys have to say or your opinion, like in the long run. Because I don't, I so many people, thank God, never was put in a position of danger, right? I'm not just talking about a fight. It could be a gunfight. It could be a fist fight, like for a living, right? Thank God. And America is very, very safe. But, I mean, I see it on every protest, guys. Trump had a rally a couple days ago, and people pull out and they have their windows down. And you have a guy, you have 20 people with face masks on. You, they're not asking for directions. Note to self. I understand, if you're a first responder listening, or if you're a veteran listening, you're a different entity, period. You're a different entity. Meaning, again, there's difference, meaning you've seen the worst in people, you've seen the best in people. Compared to somebody living, and again, thank God. I wish I was one of the people. Yes and no, because everything that you learn in the situations in your past, God forbid you would have to use that in the future. I'm all about de-escalating. But the first thing, guys, last week there was a home invasion in California in the fire. A off-duty cop, he shot the intruder. That's why safety, guys. I'll take safety, meaning having a tool over food and water, because you could have a river behind you. You could have a supermarket in your basement. But what do you do when a carload or two carloads of hooligans or thugs? I'm not just talking about a shit hit the fan situation. It could be a simple blackout, guys. A blackout that lasts long enough where there's not enough police. That's why I like studying, again, love them, hate them. General Mattis, right? Mad Dog. He dedicated his whole life. People, yes, is he a warmonger? But he studied his whole life, war, right? His whole life. I like studying different events, from Katrina to any major event that happens. I like to see how the citizens react. I like to see how. I just like to see how people react. I'm a couple miles away from like pretty bad ghetto guys, and then a couple miles away from like the sticks. So, there's a very fine line where I am right this second. UN, what a joke, totally corrupt. The UN needs to get the hell out of America. I know a couple weeks ago, or last week, who said that, Joyce or Miss Liberty? Last week, the UN wanted Trump to pay up some money, right? I would have gave them a check instead of IOU. Get the hell out of America. I never met one person for the UN. Not one person. reading comments. I'll save this for a different video, but as far as, you know, all out SHTF or all out war, Stace. Stay right there. Stace. Sorry, guys. Grant committed treason. Blank the Queen. UN took over town in Utah. Yeah, yeah, I know. HR 111. But that's the thing, guys. It's all in plain sight. In the 10-second, this is what I was saying. 10 seconds. Either the elites win, the black hats win, like the NWO. Just say they win, and that's how the world turns out. B, again, so many people underestimate. Woo, the sun, I love it. But so many people underestimate AI. Clueless about AI. They think AI is a robot. Guys, they had robots in the 20s. AI is ridiculous. So again, AI could start World War III. And then what would C be? What was I going to say for C? All the little fear porn guys, like with like China's doing this, or US ship might come close to China. Like, most of the time, a lot of the things are false. There's numerous times where I've been in situations where the news came. I was not on the news, but the news, they reported the story very, very inaccurate. And this is what I know, let alone the term fake news. Like, this is numerous stories that mainstream media covered that I was in, and they reported it inaccurate, meaning they exaggerated it. So China needs America more than America needs China. If China did not have America, China would not exist. A lot of people don't realize that. So as far as all the superpowers, you know, Red Dawn or Red October, can that happen? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's just the amount of people that they have, let alone the sleeper cells that are here. But I think that falls back to the whole UN thing, meaning if the black hats win. So there's only two scenarios, in my opinion. Again, the New World Order, whatever their plans are. Of course, we're privy to some of it. You know, some of it's laid out there, but we don't know all of it. Or B, again, folks, AI is skyrocketing. Every day it gets smarter and smarter. Or AI, rather than have a human, you know, right? Numerous times you could read articles about the Cold War where there was a human behind that button. And they had the order, or they might have saw something on radar. And whatever job position that they were at, they did not need to ask for permission at this specific post. Meaning, if you saw anything, any bogeys, push the red button. It takes two people. And that could have started back in the Cold War. Guys, now it's all AI. As I'm speaking, there's AI drones, well, anything, a UAV. I'm not talking about having a human, you know, fly it like a video game. You have AI that's making decisions right this second in 2019, kill decisions. So again, these are just my two predictions. two bad predictions. And then obviously C, meaning the world would be, you know, it is what it is, like how it is now. So the UN/NWO, or B, AI. AI could start World War III very easily. And Elon, guys, Elon was one of the first people who came out and said this. But now you have so many people who jumped on board. Maybe they've been around it. Maybe they studied it more. Like, meaning not elite people, but people, people who have a lot of money, such as like an Elon type of person. I don't want to end it with doom and gloom, but that's just reality. Again, we're privy to some of the things, but not everything, of course. Going back to geoengineering, I believe not. I know numerous reasons why they do it. My opinion only. But there's a much broader picture to it, guys. About the fake alien, allegedly from Warner von Braun. Not only were we warned many, many decades ago about a fake alien invasion, but out of the clear blue, seriously, I'm a researcher now, or I've been a researcher for the past year of my life. Something happened where aliens are now in the mainstream media. Asteroids are everywhere now. And you have commercials. Everything's a robot or alien. A soda commercial, a cell phone commercial, like predictive programming. Just my opinion only, YouTube. Elon Musk, that's his name. Very smart man, Elon Musk. I don't agree with everything he says, but again, a lot of my job was reading people, right? And just when he speaks, I could tell. Well, one, he's not a good speaker, but you could definitely tell, he really thinks about his answers. And again, this is my opinion only, that he's very passionate about the human race. He helped out Australia with the batteries, and I've never saw anybody answer a question like he did about the AI question, like when he was on Joe Rogan the podcast, and I added that clip in numerous videos of mine. Where Joe even said, like, "You're scaring me, man," and then took a shot of whiskey. He was like, "I tried to warn him." He said, "I tried to warn him. I even had a meeting. I went in front of Congress. I had one-on-one meeting with Obama, and the only topic we spoke about was AI." And his words, guys. No one wanted to listen. Pretty crazy stuff. And most black, Neuralink. Yeah, I disagree with Neuralink, but at the same time, I kind of understand what he is saying, right? If you can't, like, when people think of a supercomputer, guys, like the average person, not just you, the average person thinks that, like a computer that anyone can buy. A supercomputer, it's not a computer that you think, right? It's a tiny, tiny little chip that takes up a whole entire room to start this chip. And that's just one supercomputer. Depending upon how many you have, they're already beating people at, top video games and chess. And we're seeing it now on the streets where they're deploying. Yeah, they They look like little R2D2, but this goes down to the police state, to the whole, like I said 10 minutes ago, the UN, the NWO agenda, being in a police state, having a camera on you 24/7. It's almost like that now. Even in your own house, your TV spying on you if you have one. Your cell phone spying on you. Certain police, not the military guys. Certain police have technology, the Stingray, where if they're looking for somebody, rather than my cell phone ping to that tower, my cell phone will ping to that police officer. In a van or in a pickup truck. We do live in a police state. And I support my brothers and sisters in blue 100%. Constitutional blue. Like, I'm all about the Second Amendment. I think anybody should be able to carry. Obviously, it's a Second Amendment for a reason. But I know so many people who never shot their tool ever, and they had it for years. You should have a key. You should be highly trained. Again, whatever you could afford, folks. Whatever you could afford. I'd rather you, if you had a tool, if you can't afford going to the range or stepping it up, and the indoor and outdoor are two different things. We spoke about this, but if you don't have the money to take an actual class, dry fire. So when you have that tool, this is if you're carrying it on you for self-protection, not home defense. I'd rather you do that than go to the range once a year. Again, dry fire, it's free. Again, that's for CCW. Read some comments and then I'll let you guys go. Darlene, I know I didn't read that many comments. Darlene says it's coming, Andrew. I know. But like I told you guys, I'm good with the man upstairs, right? Like I am. I love life. Trust me. I love life. There's so much stuff I want to do. But, you could die in a car crash, folks. But I agree with Darlene. That's why for the past, probably 20 minutes I was ranting about people underestimating AI or the NWO and that whole entity group, the Black Hats win. I'll say this, the younger generation, guys, I'm a millennial, but you know how they've been talking, like Daddy Bush, he was talking about NWO. And that's why people who are not awake, I have some family members who talk about that all the time. They said, he was talking about it in the 80s. They learned from the Nazis, folks. They learned from the Nazis. And again, I give them credit. They, a hell of a job for the Black Hats. But the younger generation, they're all about technology. All about it. It's not you listening or watching right now so much. It's the whatever, there's so many titles. What's it, Generation X? I could be wrong. What's the what's younger than a millennial? It's baby boomer, millennial, I think Generation X, and then you guys would correct me in the comments. 52, how are you, brother? It's amazing too, I'm reading comments about having lead the most anti 2A president in American history was 44. He sold the most, right? I always think about stuff, obviously. Problem, reaction, solution. So yes, he wanted to sign certain he wanted to push certain things through, but he could have, but he did not, right? So we had 8 years of people who love the Constitution to gather up their tools. So now there are more tools out there than ever in American history. Problem, reactions, again, guys, I'm hypothetically speaking. I'm just thinking about, you know, if he was so anti and he never did anything about it. Again, yes, he tried to, but he didn't do anything. Trump did more against it because of Las Vegas, where Obama, he didn't do anything. Trump banned bump stocks, and it's been 2 years or 3 years. And again, bump stocks, but you don't give them an inch, folks. I'm done. In the olden days, you could give them an inch. Those times are over with. There's no negotiating with radicals. My opinion. Baby boomer, then Gen X. Baby boomer, then Gen X, then millennial. No, because my father, my father is a millennial. No, my father's a baby boomer. He was born in the 60s. I'm upper 80s. I'm a millennial. Skywatcher footage. How are ya? Yeah, Darlene, not anymore. As an individual, you know, obviously there's Democrats, but as a party, you know, how could you vote? How could you vote for them if you were a Democrat? Baby boomers, Gen X. Well, multiple people are saying that. I don't know. I'm gonna look this up as soon as I end this chat room. I was always told I was a millennial. Yeah, my father's 64. So he's a baby boomer. All right, Patriots. Appreciate the walk in chat. And this sun, it'll be down in a half hour, and then who knows tomorrow. Tomorrow, as of now, they're saying cloudy, but it could be rain. I just wanted to get outside. It's actually beautiful right now. After all day and night of heavy rain. Coolio, Gangster Paradise. All I gotta say is I love how Trump is so blunt. You guys know my opinion. You know, I don't need to say it every single time I say Trump. I don't need to give a 5-minute rant about my politics, but I just love how blunt he is, and you know, he could say whatever the hell he wants. The opening was pretty good for myself, at least. Lynn, amen to that one. With the full armor of God. Amen. That's why I said I'm good with the man or woman. Now I'm good with the. I'm good. I don't want to go, obviously, folks. I love life, but a lot of people getting into this community like new. They're like, what? You know, all it is, it's fear porn, or why would you want to live like that? Like I said, when you first find out that you've been lied to your whole life, it fucking, excuse me, it sucks. But, you know, after years of you know, meeting people who are on the same level as you, and you know, again, I don't know everything, guys, but, you know, I'm good. Not only with the man upstairs, but I'm good with being awake and knowing that the world is a stage, and the world is a stage. I was gonna say Gen X. Oh man, don't start me with the moon, Miss Liberty. Again, guys, my opinion only, but there's a lot of Skywatchers on this channel, and Crow 777. Again, the footage is like, you know, from years ago, but till this day, it's some of the best footage that I've ever seen. At one time, he had some of the only footage that existed that at least was publicly. He captured the moon. What the hell does he call it? The lunar wave. He was actually filming the moon. He has like I think he has a big scope, nice camera, and he caught the lunar wave. Amazing. The ripple, yeah. And since then, numerous people have caught it, but he was, at least according, as far as, he was one of the first, and that's when YouTube gave him the boot. It was right after that lunar wave. But since then, numerous people have captured it. So that wave, it's crazy, folks. I'm glad nobody asked me my opinion on it, because I am clueless. I told you this numerous times. Out of all the topics about being awake, the moon is probably the #1 topic that I actually went back and forth on numerous times. Where pretty much, guys, if you could go back to, you know, some of my very first videos, I'm pretty much, you know, a little bit of leeway, but the moon, that's the only thing that I am like this with. Even till this day, I have more questions now than I did ever. I always say, you know, always go with your eyes. But now, you know, who knows what the moon is? Darlene, the reason why I'm anti-Trump is he already has a RFID chip. I'll tell you this, Darlene. The reason why I'm for him, it's WW3, Darlene, every single day. You know, I understand that you don't like him, but never in my life have I witnessed and been a part of something that like this. And again, guys, I just love his mouth. Yeah, sometimes, where before I thought he should shut up at certain times, but you know, they're doing a effing coup d'etat, folks. So you know, I take that back. You know, say whatever you want. Again, guys, I know some people probably just jumped in. I'm not in bed with Trump. I support him 100%, obviously, right? Support him 100%. But as far as agreeing with all his politics or his procedures, around 90%. But support and agree are two different things. Just like how some of you guys probably support me on having a channel and being open-minded, but disagree with me politically, even though I'm not a Democrat or Republican, just by me being vocal, how I am pro-Trump. But at the same time, I respect if you don't like him. It's not like I don't delete anybody. I let people talk, freedom of speech. It's pretty good here. Amen. Amen to God. How are you, Ocean Arc 77? I haven't seen John. Darlene stands for what she believes against the crowd. The crap, it's a fan. I want to be around people. And like, same thing, like I have certain neighbors that are on the same page as me, and then I have some neighbors who are, as an individual, very liberal, but at the same time they're against everything about the Democratic Party in 2019. But again, guys, if shit, God forbid, if it ever came down to that, hypothetically, we're talking about a reality, a movie script. I'm not gonna, who do you vote for? Who do you like? It's we the people, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to unite. I'm not here to argue with anybody. I'm here to unite people. Speaking of unite, I'm going to start doing interviews with certain people, all about uniting, guys. Yeah, I do have bots. I have many many different subscribers, so to say. I have plenty of bots. I have alphabet people. Yes. John Carlson, Andrew, you have a good spirit. Appreciate that. About to end my chat. Very nice comment. And I've been going for an hour. At the opening of this video, I was talking about spirit. It's pretty ironic that you said that. I've always been a type A personality, right? Because of my job. But part of the, again, I guess if you want to call it the awakening and I'm just much more, spiritual. Life's too short to argue about politics with somebody. If you're against me that much, you shouldn't be subscribed to me. And if I'm, again, I'm open. So you can disagree with me on, certain topics and still be a subscriber. But obviously, guys, I don't watch people who I'm not on the same page with. Not one person watching or listening believes with me 100% with anything I say. I would hope not. We're all critical thinkers. Like I always say, question everything. But I love hearing, times like this, a walk and talk. I love hearing, how you guys think about certain events, and I love feedback. You know, what do you guys like? What topics do you guys enjoy more? Stuff like that. Hear the geese? Andrew knows my opinion. I'm sorry, I can't see you with the sun. Michael says sun gazing. To be honest, you'll end up with more questions than answers. Being a sky watcher. 100%. Save that for a different video. Yeah, 5 years ago, I never had patience like I did now. I'm still, you know, people call it a good bad guy, I guess. You know, I will do harm to anybody who's trying to do harm to myself, to anybody. If I'm sitting here and I see a fight, I'm gonna take action against anybody. So that part of me hasn't changed, but I'm just different spiritually. I'm good with the man upstairs, as I said before. And I'm good with what, you know, again, if we win this battle or if we don't win this battle, you know, it's a fight right now. Enjoy life, folks. I do. Even though I talk about reality, I enjoy life. Life is short. I'm done preaching. Appreciate all you guys, are amazing. I don't even get paid for this. I've been up for 48 hours. Obviously, I have a Patreon, and that's monthly, but it's not like I have ads. Obviously, I'm not in this for the money. I only had one person say that a couple weeks ago. The truth is free. Well, when my bills come in, folks, again, I wish I could do this for free, but I have bills, I have a car, you know. I don't have to preach to adults. You guys, we're all adults here. Just like the movie. Again, that movie was written in 1999. Amazing. Go back a little farther to They Live. That was the Matrix of the 80s. Where, again, just that one scene when he puts where I wish I had my sunglasses with me, where he puts the sunglasses on, he looks up at the billboard, consume, asleep, you know, everything that we're talking about now of being awake. Like, this was in the 80s, in the Hollywood movie. And then when we put the glasses on, the certain people, you know, the news, the police, I'm not saying the police are bad, but, you know, just really again, Hollywood, I don't like the entity, but I feel that whatever agreement they have, I feel that they have to put it out there. And it's up for you to think it's either reality or fiction. And once you become awake, it's amazing, guys. I could watch an old movie that I forgot about, and just being awake now, I'm like, holy shite. Like, yeah, once you're awake, guys, there's no turning back, just like the Matrix. I love being awake. It feels like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I think I'll end it with that. Again, when I first found out, or if you're, you know, that you've been lied to about almost everything, not everything, but mostly everything. From the medical system, I'm not blaming doctors, obviously, because they save people every day, nurses, teachers, even police. But it's a game. It's the way that the system was rigged. Religion. How many religions are there? Religion is a cult. But yet, most of you watching, again, I'm not going to put words in anyone's mouth, but I know enough of people. We talk about God. I don't have to go to a church. I don't have to go to a church and pay money, or tell somebody my secrets, or excuse me, tell somebody my sins in order to go to heaven. That's my belief. Again, if you do that, that's fine. I don't hate on anybody. Do what makes you happy. Do your lifestyle. That being said, the sun is in my eyes, and I'm not being a baby, but it's hard to read the comments, and I don't want to waste your time just ranting, because I do enjoy each and every one of you guys. I love hearing from you guys about everything. We talk about it all. Wake up, stand up. Amen. Bare arms, Owen. It's a shame, because I used to always watch Owen, and then, like I said again at the top of this hour, having 2 channels, and then the Patreon channel, and then life, dealing with sick dog, my health. It's hard to watch people now, but just everything that he did, how he left Hollywood, family man, he's a homestead guy, kudos to him, and you could just tell he's happier. You could see it in his videos. And he, I love that stuff. I love happy stories. All right, Miss Liberty, thank you. Bare arms, later, brother. Darlene, appreciate as always. Brett, what's up, brother? Michael, I don't know where you guys are, but again, got about a half hour left of sun here. Beautiful. After we had 2 inches of rain, so enjoy it. 2 weeks, guys, the clocks go back, so this time it'll be pitch dark in 2 weeks. Appreciate all you guys. Be safe out there. Always stay vigilant.